out on YouTube and you want to be inspired. He's a freaking teenager and he's like a genius with makeup. James Charles is the face of their holiday collection, and I saw him do a really cool look and it just made me want to try this palette. We are going to be taking a first look at the new Morphe palette. Hello.
So beautiful. I'm so scared.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Like it?
It looks so gorgeous. Do you like it?
I love it. Sorry, James, I'm on to another Morphe palette, but you guys can still use code James for 10% off of this one. I'm the friend that's encouraging you guys to use code James for 10% off of saving. You can use anybody's code. Use, James's code. I'm wearing my sister's apparel.
Wow, so she's obviously helped him out a lot before he blew up, and I mean, just even more, even financially, roll.
He always told me that I was the reason that he wanted to get into makeup, and I was the reason that he was inspired to start his channel, and that my channel was one of his favorites, and he just loved watching me. And it was just nice to hear, to be honest. I was like, wow, like this kid, like really, like I'm like the grown-up inspiration, like this, cool, like how can I help you? There's a huge age gap between me and James Charles, and it's so funny because back in the beginning, my husband was like, you're not best friends with him, like he's a kid. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm like, but he's really like looking for some help, some guidance. I made the choice that I was gonna help him. Like a lot of people online were crapping all over him. Back in the day, he had drama with Nikita Dragon. I've never screwed him over. I've never publicly humiliated him. I've never done any of that. And a lot of people who are buddy-buddy with him right now have not always had his best interest. They didn't want him to succeed. They saw this new kid coming up and they're like, no, this is not gonna happen. And I was constantly like, you're talented, you've got this, keep going. What do you need? How can I help you? I had a lot of influence at the time. My channel was much bigger. Come on my channel, do my makeup. We started talking pre-CoverGirl, so we're talking before everything exploded. And I had his back then. I invited him to my wedding. He didn't have money for the flight or hotel, so I paid for that happily.
Wow, but it's not even just that. When James Charles started blowing up and he had all these business deals going on and stuff, Tati's own husband sat down and helped him out.
My husband, he ran an agency. He was the VP of motion pictures. He knows the industry through and through. I don't talk about that end of my husband's career too often. He's so gifted with his view of how deals, contracts, business development, he's a master at it, and I love his brilliant mind. He was mentored by Roland Perkins, who was one of the original founders of CAA. He has built businesses and sold them. He is so insanely intelligent. Anytime that James would need help, he'd be like, Dad, what should I do? And he'd come over and he'd be like, I don't like my manager, will you manage me? And James is like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't do that anymore. But your family, how can I help you? My husband would spend hours on the phone, looking over contracts, getting him in a better position. So we helped him get into Style Hall back when basically no one wanted to work with him because of his Ebola scandal. And everyone was really afraid that he was very toxic. But once again, we had his back. They got a boutique management around him. They finally taught him how to monetize his videos. He was making $90 a video, and because of me and my husband, he was making $2,500 immediately from a switch being flipped because his former management did not go in and do that for him.
Wow. But on top of all of that, James Charles apparently has had some very inappropriate behavior around her, and well, it hit a breaking point. This is what Tati said. Roll it.
I think one of the biggest reasons that I'm doing this video is because all of us are somehow forgetting that his audience is made up of 12 to 14-year-olds, like dominantly, and he is role modeling to them his behavior. His behavior online is what they are seeing and what they are emulating as how they should behave to be successful and adored by the masses. Everything is over-sexualized, and that's the huge underlayer to this all that I finally have had enough. The last phone conversation that James Charles and I had, he said some things telling me about a situation that happened in Seattle at my birthday, and it literally made me want to vomit. Oh my God, you tried to trick a straight man into thinking he's gay yet again, and somehow you're the victim. You know, it's really disgusting to manipulate someone's sexuality, especially when they are still, emerging into adulthood and don't quite have everything figured out. You are using your fame, your power, your money to play with people's emotions. You're threatening to ruin them. You're threatening to embarrass them. And you're doing that to have them behave sexually in your favor, even if they're straight. And you know what? That's not okay. That behavior is not okay. Whether you're a woman, a man, gay, straight, bi, whatever sexual orientation you are, that is your personal call and it is not someone else's to take. And you did it at my birthday dinner. And I made excuses for you then. You were talking in detail about things you wanted to do to the waiter. And when I said, James, he's straight, your response was, doesn't matter, I'm a celebrity. So freaking gross. And you said that in front of my family, in front of my childhood friends. I had to call every one of them up the next morning and apologize on your behalf because it was so uncomfortable.
Absolutely unbelievable. So, I don't know. It's like, I totally feel for Tati because obviously she has done everything she can to take care and like, basically give James Charles a career, and then he's just out there promoting a competitive stuff that he know is going to hurt the friend that gave him this career in the first place. So obviously people are upset and they started unsubbing at an alarming rate. James Charles then uploaded an apology video to Tati, and let me just say, this is the worst apology video ever. Guys, when you make an apology video, when you're saying that you're sorry for something, you have to be real. You can't act at all. If you do any acting, people are going to see it. They're going to know you're acting. And in this video that was an apology to Tati, James Charles is just not sincere at all. Here's a clip. Roll it.
Hi all, James here. I'm currently traveling abroad and just woke up, but I wanted to sit down and make a video addressing everything that's going on right now, because I owe everybody an explanation, but most importantly, I owe two important people an apology. To Tati and James Westbrook, I'm sorry for everything that is going on and everything that I've put you through over the past few weeks. In regards to the boy situation, boys have been a topic that I've talked a lot about on my social media journey, and it's a topic that I wish I hadn't.
Wow. I mean, it's just fake. There's no way. I mean, you can read his body language. He's acting. He's acting like he's having a problem breathing and like, oh, that's not real. That's an animated version of, guys, I messed up, I'm sorry. It's not genuine. And just, you could just tell. So James Charles is in a lot of trouble. And there's allegedly some boys that are underage, which that's a big deal, but James Charles